Welcome back, super friends. Today we are going to review all of our decimal place value skills that we learned this unit so that we can review for our test that we're taking tomorrow. So what you'll need is your math notebook or folder. You'll need a pencil to write with, and don't forget that super brain of yours. Stay tuned for the video. So for today's first question, it says last week the fourth grade at Summersville Elementary School collected 74.293 kilograms. The way that I read that is 74 and 293 thousandths kilograms of bottles to recycle. What is that number written in another form? So how do we write this in another form? What we need to do is look at our different options. I'll rewrite it bigger. We need to look at our different options and see which one equals 74.293. So let's look at A. 74. Okay, cool. And we know that and means decimal. 293 hundredths. So that means that the 3 goes in the hundredths place. And then that the 2 goes in front of it in the tenths place. And then I guess the 9 would go here above the ones place with the 4. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to assume that this is incorrect because that didn't make any sense. It would look like this. I've never written a number like that. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I did it wrong. The 9 should go here, and the 2 should go on top. So the 2 and then the 9. Either way, still doesn't make any sense. Wrong. Let's look at B. B says 74. Okay, cool. 74 and 293 thousandths. That sounds about right. 293 thousandths. That means that the 3 is in the thousandths place. That means that the 9 is in the hundredths place. That means that the 2 is in the tenths place, and then the 4 is the ones place, and the 70 or the 7 is in the tens place. That's what that means. So far we're looking good here. Let's look at C. Okay, so far 7 times 10, that's true. 4 times 1, that's true. That means it's in that place value. 2 times 1,000ths, that's not true. The 2 should be times the 1/10. Then the 9 should be times the 100th, not the 1,000th. So C is wrong. Let's look at D. D says 74,000. That's not true because then it would say this, 74,200. It's not even giving us an and. Where's our and? This is 74,293. So 74,293 is what that number says for D. Not true. Our answer is B because that gives us our 74.293. Awesome. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Next slide. All right. The distance Trevor's paper airplane traveled, rounded to the nearest tenth of a meter, is 4.8 meters. Which of the following numbers could be the actual distance that Trevor's paper airplane traveled? So we're basically saying we're rounding to the nearest tenth. This is important to know, and that our answer should be 4.8. So we're going to take all of these, round them to the nearest tenth, and see what our answers are. So if I want to round to the nearest tenth, that means I need to look for the tenths place. And I know the tenths place is right here. For all of these, the tenth place is the first number right after the decimal. That's the tenths place. And then for rounding, I look to the right. The right is the 7. I remember that if I have 0 to 4, I stay the same. Stay. And if I have 5 to 9, I go up 1. Go up 1. So now that 7 tells me to do what with my 8? It tells me to go up 1 because it's between the 5 and the 9. So I need to go up to a 4.9. That's not what I want because I need it to equal. We need 4.8. So if it doesn't say 4.8, then we don't want it. Okay, we don't want. Let's look at B. If I look next door, that 1 tells me to do what to the 7? Stay the same, because the 1 is in the 0 to 4 section, so that means stay. So we don't want B because it doesn't say 4.8. Let's look at C. That 3 is telling me to do what with that 7? Again, stay the same. We don't want the C. Let's look at D as in dog. That 2 is telling me to keep the 8 the same. So now it's going to be 4.8 still. Yep, we want D. Our answer is D, because that was the option that we needed. All right, next one. So let's solve the problem here. Okay, next problem says, solve the problem below. Remember, when we are multiplying by a power of 10, we are going to move the decimal to the right. We're moving the decimal to the right. How many places to the right? We need to look at that exponent. The exponent tells us twice. So we're moving it to the right 2 places. So let's do it. 1, 2. So now what does our number look like? It looks like 927.1. That is our answer. It's as simple as it is. These are my favorite kinds, because all you're doing is moving that decimal and getting your answer. All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, this one. How is the number 7 different in the numbers 21.73 and 92.87? So we're focusing on the 7. So the 7 here is going to be 0.07. And then the 7 here is going to be 0.70. So it looks like this is in the 10th place. That means it's in the 1/10th place. And then this is in the 100th place. So that means it's in the 100th place. Let's see which of these options show us how they're different. Looking at this one, I see that this place value is just 10 times smaller than this place value over here. So 100th is 10 times smaller than 1/10. So this number over here, the 7 over here, is smaller. And then the 7 over here, and this number is bigger. Right, so we're basically looking for which sentences tell us that. Which sentences tell us that the 92.87 is a smaller 7 than the 21.73. Okay, A. The 7 in the 21.73 is 10 times less. That's not true. It's not. This 7 is not 10 times small. This is saying 0.70 equals 10 times less. So 10 times less means that I'm dividing. If it says 10 times less. So it would be the 0.07 divided by 10. That's not true. Incorrect. I'll say false. Let's look at B. The 7 over here, so 0.70 is, remember, is means equal, is worth the same as. So that's saying that this is equal to this. False. No, it is not. They are in different place values. Okay, let's look at C. The 7 here, so 0.07, is worth 1/10 less than the 7 in this one. So that's saying that 0.70 divided by 10, which is true, because if I divide by 10, that means I'm moving the decimal place over 1 time, and that means that the 0 is in front of the 7, which is what it says over here. So this is true. So far, let's check D. Okay, this is saying that 0.70 is equal to 1/10 times more. That just means divide again. So this is saying that 0.07 divided by 10. Not true. This is also false. So let's go with our C. C is our answer choice. All right, next question. Next question is a rounding question. We are really good at rounding, so I'm going to skip that. I'm going to do another question like this. So let's see. Actually, no. We're doing this one. Because before we moved it to the right because we were multiplying, but now we're dividing. So what does that mean? That we move the decimal to the left. So move decimal to the left. How many places? Look at that exponent. 3. 3 places. Okay, but what if we don't have a decimal in the number? We always put it at the end of the number. We're going to start here, and then let's see where we end. So we start here, and let's move it 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. Now it ends here. So it ends up here. So now our number says what? 8.794. That's our answer, 8.794. Good job. Now, all the rest of your questions that you have like that are very, very similar to what we did together. So it should be good. I think I will do, no, that one's easy. You're just figuring out which one is the answer. Is it one of these written forms or is it the expanded form? Those are simple. Again, with that one. Okay, this one's another rounding. Yeah, feels good. This one, again, you have to look at which sentence tells me that which one is bigger. So obviously the 30 here is bigger than the 3 here. How much bigger? They're only moving 1 place. So this 3 is 10 times smaller than this 30. That's basically what you're trying to say. The 3 is 10 times smaller or less than 30. That's literally what this says. So you have to figure out which one of these sentences equal that. Which one of these sentences is similar to what this is saying. That if I divide by 30, because that's saying 30 divided by 10. I know it says 10 times smaller. That means divide. 10 times smaller means divide by 10. So 30 divided by 10 equals 3 is what that's saying. So we need to figure out which option shows that. I'll rewrite it again. So 30 divided by 10 equals 3. That's what you guys are looking for. So keep that in mind when you're answering these questions. I'm done reviewing. You guys will answer your Google form and then submit it. Don't forget to turn it in on Google Classroom as well.